2 of our CBS doubleheader from the Coliseum in Los Angeles, where this afternoon the NFC East takes on the AFC West, the Giants of New York and the Los Angeles Raiders. Despite a professed commitment to excellence, the Raiders are off to a horrid start. Worst start, as a matter of fact, since Al Davis was a coach in 1964 when they started 0-5-1. They've played 4 games so far this year. They've lost all 4. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Dan Fouts. Dan, they have tried everything, including another change this week in the play calling scheme.
Tom Walsh will call the plays for young Todd Marinovich today, and he told me yesterday that he wants to do 3 things. He wants to protect the passer, he wants to throw quicker, shorter routes, and he wants to get some type of running game going against the Giants.
The New York Giants, of course, have had a week off. They won their first game of the season under Ray Handley on a Monday night in Chicago. They sat back last Monday night, watched Kansas City destroy this Los Angeles team. Ray Handley said, yeah, there are certain similarities in the way we run the ball and the way Kansas City did.
Yeah, but Ray Handley also doesn't know which team for the Giants will show up. Will it be the Giants that showed up with 6 bad quarters, or will it be the good 6 quarters? Rodney Hampton will be featured in the running game against a defensive line that last week against the Kansas City Chiefs gave up 180 yards rushing.
It is a typically gorgeous day here in Southern California. 80 degrees. They had a heat wave earlier in the week. Winds out of the southwest at 12 miles per hour. And Jeff Jaeger will kick off for the Los Angeles Raiders. This is the first time the Giants have played here since 1986. They won that game by a count of 14-9. Here's the kickoff by Jaeger. Taken in the end zone by Dave Meggett. It'll come out to the 20. And Phil Simms will open at quarterback. Simms, who didn't play all that well in the first game and a half, but has come on stronger lately. He'll have Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Cratch, Riesenberg up front. The tight end is Howard Cross. And at the backfield, Rodney Hampton, Jared Bunch at fullback. The wideouts are Mark Ingram and Stephen Baker. Baker, who had a big game in that Monday night win at Chicago. From the 20, 1st and 10. Simms across the middle. Rodney Hampton has the catch at the 28-yard line. Winston Moss, number 99, with the defensive play. Ronnie Lott, destined for the Pro Bowl someday, is the leader of a defensive unit that up front features Howie Long and Golick, along with Greg Townsend and Andre Bruce. The linebackers are Aaron Wallace, Ricky Ellison, and Winston Moss, and in the secondary, it's McDaniel and Washington on the corners. Eddie Anderson and Ronnie Lott are the safeties. 2nd down and 2 from the 28. They try to sweep to the left side. Rodney Hampton, the ball carrier. And Nolan Harrison, number 74, who is in there defensively, makes the tackle.
And in talking to the Giant coaches, obviously after watching what Kansas City did on the ground against the Raiders, they feel that they want their big offensive line to control that line of scrimmage and run the ball right at the Raiders. That play was going to the outside, something a bit of a changeup. They're going to have a lot more success running between the tackles against an undersized defensive line of Los Angeles.
3rd and 2. Dave Meggett in as a 3rd down specialist. Meggett gets the handoff, and he's not going to get the 1st down. Aaron Wallace, number 51, puts the plug in the effort. And the Raiders hold defensively. They'll get the ball back. The Giants go 3 and out.
And the Raiders told us that if they're going to win the game, obviously they've got to stop the run. First 2 plays, running plays for the Giants, gained about 1 yard.
Sean Landeta, who's been mired in a bit of a slump, you can see that he's 5 yards below his average. He's had 1 block this year. That is an average punt for Landeta. Tim Brown at the 29. And he slips and falls. And the Raiders will take over at their own 34-yard line, a 42-yard punt, and 5 on the return. Todd Marinovich, who started 11 games at USC, started 4 for the Raiders. He's lost all 4, and he'll open at quarterback now in his 2nd year. Up front, it's Wilkerson and Wisniewski, Mosbar, Pete McElroy for Steve Wright and Ethan Horton, who was a Pro Bowl tight end a year ago. Dickerson and Steve Smith are in the backfield, and Willie Gault and Tim Brown are the wideouts. 1st and 10, Los Angeles at their own 34-yard line. Marinovich with a play fake, fires the ball. It's caught by the tight end Horton, and he is cut down at the 41-yard line by Perry Williams, number 23.
Brought down by Kerry Williams.
LT, the leader of this defensive unit that has grown a little long in tooth. They got some years of experience. Dorsey, Howard, Leonard Marshall did not make the trip. Mike Fox gets the start at right end. Banks, Johnson, Diossi, and Taylor the linebackers. And in the secondary, it's Collins and Williams on the corner, Greg Jackson and Lamar McGriggs. 2nd down and 3. Steve Smith, 1st down, Los Angeles. And a flag comes flying to the ground after that gain of 7.
Greg Jackson picked him up.
Steve Smith, who has only carried it 17 times for the year now.
An indication that this will be against the Giants. So the Raiders will, on their first possession, move into Giant territory.
7-yard gain by Steve Smith.
Gary Lane, in his first year as an NFL referee, has been a long-time official in the league and promoted this year to the referee spot.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 99 on the defense. 5-yard penalty tacked on. 1st down.
Steve Diossi. Some of you saw that Minnesota come from behind over Chicago. They were down 20-0. Atlanta defeats Green Bay, and New Orleans gives Detroit its 4th loss of the year. Double tight end set on 1st down. Eric Dickerson tests the middle, driven back.
We talked earlier about how Tom Walsh, the new play caller for the Raiders, wants to protect his passer. He says the first thing in their passing game is not so much the deep routes as everybody talks about, but they want to give Marinovich solid protection against this pass rush. Very concerned with the outside linebackers, and we saw on the first pass play by Marinovich, they rolled him out of the pocket to try to get away from that pressure.
Well, they made any number of changes. Marinovich took over from Jay Schrader 2 weeks ago. Here's Marinovich back and looking to his left. Finds his tight end, Andrew Glover. That's only the 3rd catch in 4 games plus a couple of minutes for Glover, and he gains 10 and a 1st down at the 34.
But again, it was a quick drop, about a 5-step drop by Marinovich. Set that back foot, something he didn't do very well last week against that pass rush of the Chiefs, and he got rid of that ball in good fashion. Big 1st down.
Art Shell in his 4th year. 1st and 10, Los Angeles. They lost at Denver, lost in overtime at Cincinnati, lost at home to Cleveland, and then the Monday night loss in Kansas City. Here's Dickerson dancing to the outside, losing ground. Lamar McGriggs, who was reinserted in the lineup for Everson Walls because, Ray Henley said, he's a better tackler.
And we saw a pretty good example there. Dickerson, if he gets outside of McGriggs, he has a big gain down the sidelines, but at you know, 210 pounds, 6'3", that's a big, strong safety and a good tackler, Lamar McGriggs.
McGriggs started the season as a starter against 49ers. Gave way to Everson Walls in weeks 2 and 3, and then back in the lineup today. 2nd down and 15. Blitz. Marinovich caught by Tim Brown. Knocked down at the 28 in front of Mark Collins. One of the things Ray Hanley said they are doing defensively, Dan, is more 5- and 6-man pass rushes.
And what the Raiders want to do to combat that is they know that LT is going to be coming, so they want Marinovich to set up short and let LT just run around the backside of the pocket. Again, it's about a 5-step drop. Good job by Wilkerson extending his arms and pushing LT by the quarterback.
Chatted with Todd Marinovich yesterday, and Dan said, do you have a safety valve, a guy you can always count on? He said, easy. Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen is in the lineup now. Marinovich pulls up, looks toward Marcus Allen, and misfires.
And Marinovich might have hit his hand on a defensive lineman coming in. threw this ball very late and immediately grabbed for his left hand.
And Jay Schrader obviously has not warmed up. He now gets up and grabs a football.
Now, this happens very often. He hit his own man in the back of the helmet with his left hand. That's Wisniewski just doing a nice job of protecting the quarterback with those freak accidents.
Jeff Jaeger will try the field goal. He was a Pro Bowler a year ago, but he's having a tough season thus far. This one, however, from 45, nope, no good. Jaeger is now 5 of 12. Marinovich is injured. Time has been called. A modest crowd, one might call it. There are a few empty seats here. And one reason is because the Raiders are in the midst of a horrid streak. They've lost their last 8.
And the surprising thing are these two right here, these two Ohio teams, Cincinnati and Cleveland, that heading into the season, you figure those are wins for the Raiders.
Marinovich testing that left hand on the sidelines. No official report from the bench yet. Giants get it back. Scoreless first quarter. Sims to Hampton, and he is jammed up immediately by Ricky Ellison, the middle linebacker. Ellison said yesterday, "We will do whatever it takes."
Well, actually, he was kind of stuck on the phrase, bringing it.
I'm trying to go.
Every question I asked him, I said, well, what's your game plan? It doesn't matter what our game plan is. We're just going to bring it. And he caught himself after about 6 or 7 times of saying the same thing. So that gives you some idea of the aggressiveness that he feels the Raiders have to bring to this game.
2nd and 9. Slight cut on the hand of Marinovich is the report from the bench. Sims, cut down. Nolan Harrison, number 74. Second-year man from Indiana.
This is only the 8th sack of the year for the Raiders. Sims had to hold on to this ball a long time, but Harrison working from the right side over guard William Roberts just fights off inside, and there is Sims stepping up into the pocket for an easy sack.
And that'll set up a 3rd down and 14. Harrison started earlier in the season. And it's a 3-man front now for the Raiders on 3rd and 14 facing the Giants. Sims, Meggett. 4th down. He's a yard short of the 1st and 10. Anthony Bell, number 59, makes the tackle.
Now, this is a good start for the Raider defense. They need some type of boost. But they started well last week against Kansas City. On the first 4 possessions of the Chiefs, it was 3 and punt. So far today, the first 2 possessions, it appears that Meggett comes up short here, and that might bring up a 4th down punt.
They will measure and see how favorable the spot was here. Yep, 4th down.
Give it 12 yards, brings up 4th down.
And Hanley sends Sean Landeta and the punting unit onto the field.
It was interesting what Hanley said about the Raiders last week, as they were worn down in the 4th quarter. And the last time the Giants played against the Bears, they wore the Bears down. So Hanley is looking forward to that 4th quarter.
Tim Brown back to return the punt. Has one of 40 yards so far this season. Word from the bench is that Marinovich will be back. That's a line drive punt. Brown with a return. Out to the 43. Second-year man Todd Marinovich back in the cockpit. The Raiders have the ball for the 2nd time in a scoreless game.
35 yards on the punt by Sean.
Raiders get it on offense for the 2nd time. Todd Marinovich is back in at quarterback. No score in the game. Los Angeles to the ball at their own 42.5-yard line. Thornton starts in motion. There's a fumble recovered by Marinovich. This is a Raider team that has given the ball away 15 times already this season.
Now, you got to wonder if that hand is okay or not, because his left hand is on top, and that's where the ball will slap up and hit that sore hand. Good snap by Mosbar, and Marinovich didn't appear to have any strength in his hand to hang on to that ball. And now the trainer's going to come out and take a look at him, and I think he's going to get a seat on the bench, because although it's a slight cut on his hand, you know it's got to be bruised because he hit his throwing hand on his own offensive guard, Steve Wisniewski's helmet.
It happened on the last possession. This was just before an unsuccessful field goal attempt as Marinovich passed and hit Wisniewski on the helmet.
He had a double clutch there, and that caused the pressure by Fox all the way back into the quarterback, and that is very painful to be throwing a ball, a 60, 70 mile an hour fastball with the football that the follow-through comes down on something hard plastic.
Jay Schrader started the season as the starter. Gave way to Marinovich. And it's 2nd down and 15. Blitz. Schrader. Got it. 1st down, Raiders. Willie Gault at the 44-yard line.
And Willie Gault represents one of the main concerns that Handley told us about, and that's his speed. Watch as he is driving the corner, Perry Williams deep. Good sharp cut, good coverage by Williams, but what a way to come off the bench and throw in a perfect strike as Schrader did right there.
Jay Schrader, who played collegiately at UCLA. Here's Willie Gault. Then, of course, stepped in for Joe Theismann with the Redskins. Controversial trade to the Raiders for Jim Lachey. And he has been a controversial quarterback here ever since. Speaking of controversy, here's Eric Dickerson, who took a huge pay cut to get out of Indianapolis and back to the West Coast this year.
And you just wonder what would have happened to Dickerson if he had just stayed in L.A. down the road with the Rams. Behind that fantastic offensive line that they had, Dickerson might be threatening to get up there where Walter Payton is and all those career rushing yards.
You are of the opinion, Dan, that it wasn't Eric Dickerson's fault alone that thing misfired in L.A.
Oh, I think that the management of the Rams has to share in some of that responsibility because he was never happy with his contract at any time.
2nd and 9, no score. Blitz coming again. Schrader got him. It was Banks from the left side, Pepper Johnson coming up the middle, and then Eric Dorsey got the sack. Washington Redskins are playing at Phoenix this afternoon. Let's go back to Greg.
All right, Vern, at Sun Devil Stadium, the Redskins are on the board first against the Cardinals from 19 yards out. Mark Rippon to Ricky Sanders with the extra point. Washington leads Phoenix 7-0 in the 1st. Back to the Coliseum, Vern and Dan.
All right, Greg, scoreless here with 5:24 to go in the 1st. 3rd down and 18. Jay Schrader on in relief of the injured Todd Marinovich, who took one snap after he injured his left hand and fumbled the ball. Blitz coming again. Down the right side for Tim Brown, overthrown and incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Tim Brown, who was on the inactive list with an injury last week.
Yeah, he's got a sore left hamstring, and he believes he could have played last week, but because of the AstroTurf there in Kansas City, the coaches decided to hold him out. But the interesting thing to follow today is whether Brown will be able to make the entire game. He's also returning kicks for the Raiders as well as running those streak patterns.
Jeff Gossett will punt it deep to Dave Meggett, who the last time these two teams played had a 78-yard punt return for a touchdown. His first in the NFL. That one will not be returned. Might be the end of the day for Todd Marinovich. Injured left hand. Time has been called. Just under 5 minutes remaining 1st quarter. Vern Lundquist and Dan Faust at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Phil Simms reinstalled as the starter at the beginning of the season. Been a contrast in games, hasn't it, Dan?
Well, the key numbers, of course, are always the touchdowns and the interceptions. Simms is a great leader. That's probably his best asset. And I think the team really rallies around him. He doesn't stand for anything out there. If he doesn't like the level of play, he's going to let those guys in that huddle know about it. Those last 6 quarters, I think he likes what he's seen.
No score in the game. 1st and 10 after the punt by Jeff Gossett was out of bounds at the 13. Hampton coming left and cuts back and gets it out to the 21. Raiders Art Shell saying yesterday the cutback play killed him Monday night.
And if he thinks that Barry Word can cut back, he doesn't know anything, because this guy, Rodney Hampton, that's the strength of his running game. He's a power runner, but he also has that cutback ability of some of the smaller guys like a Dave Meggett.
Art Shell, a man of great dignity, said yesterday you cannot imagine what this losing streak is like. Hampton jammed Winston Moss, number 99.
You can't imagine it, but I can.
I would never bring that up.
In 1975, I was a member of a San Diego Charger team that started the season 0-11 in a 14-game season, and so we're getting down towards the end of the year, and at this point, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hadn't been around, so no team had gone winless, and we're looking right dead in the record books, and then we're going to see all our names put up there. Fortunately for San Diego, we beat Kansas City and the New York Jets to finish with a beautiful record of 2-12. It's miserable being winless.
3rd and 2. Dave Meggett comes in on 3rd down. Flag is down. The flag was thrown and the whistle blown before the snap was made. So
that will indicate a false start on the Giants.
False start. Offense, number 76 before the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Jumbo Elliott, the left tackle.
And I know one thing, the cause of it wasn't crowd noise. Not in this place with this crowd.
The guys I don't understand are the guys sitting in the end zone to our right.
I've been in churches where there's been more noise.
Well, there's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir gathered on the far side.
Why wouldn't they pick a good seat? I mean, there's millions of them here.
Because the security, they can't sneak into the better seats. They can't get lost in the crowd. 3rd and 7. Sims, not a scrambler, pulls up, fires. 1st down. That one is at the 35-yard line. Mark Ingram, tackled by Terry McDaniel.
Well, here's Ingram. Watch, he'll come down and across the middle. But the key to this play is Sims as he steps up into the pocket. There's just nobody there. There's one linebacker. Aaron Wallace is going to spy on Sims. But Ingram finds his way. Huge hole in the secondary for a 1st down.
That's a gain of 19. Now Bunch and Hampton are back in the lineup behind Phil Sims on 1st down. Here's Jared Bunch. Goes right and doesn't find anything. Except Eddie Anderson, who is a bruising tackler in the secondary.
It almost makes you wonder when the Giants are just going to run straight at the Raiders as the Chiefs did on Monday night. So far, it's been all wide plays. The best play they've had on the ground is when Hampton started wide and then cut back over the middle.
Raiders' #1 draft choice, Chester McLaughlin, who was injured much of the year, is in the lineup now, number 91. They expect big things from him. That's what they're going to get. He's huge. 2nd down and 10. No score. Hampton tries to cut it back to the right and moves it out to the 39-yard line.
Brought down by Ricky Ellison.
Let's take a look at Big Chester. Here he is working against the center, Bart Oates. And Oates, the veteran, working against the rookie, even though he is 325 pounds. That's a nice job of just staying with him and allowing Hampton to use his vision to find a hole.
Giants bring in 4 wide receivers and Dave Meggett on 3rd and 6. There is Chester McLaughlin from Clemson.
You know, on some of these big guys, instead of putting their weight after they get over 300, you ought to just put a plus sign because none of them are ever accurate.
Exactly.
Not many scales go up that high.
On 3rd down. Stunts by the Raiders defensive line. Sims caught. Callaway. 1st down, Giants. In front of Dan Land, number 25. Callaway's 7th catch of the season.
This offensive line of the Giants is doing a good job of protecting Sims. That time he had about 5 seconds to throw. But when you look at the size of the Giants up front, they outweigh the Raiders. Lott with a fake blitz that time, but there's nobody even near Sims. He can step up and look over the entire field.
Play fake. Sims looks deep, settles short. Into the flat for Rodney Hampton. And Aaron Wallace does a nice job of shadowing Hampton, makes the tackle. We have no score in the game. The final 29 seconds of the first quarter. The only threat, a 45-yard field goal that misfired from Jeff Jager of the Raiders. Giants yet to cross into Raider country. They came out on Friday, held a workout yesterday at Santa Monica Community College. Not easy for me to say.
That's a junior college anyway.
Be in elementary school before I get done with it. Second down and 11. Bunch for a bunch. Ronnie Lott with the tackle. 17 is the game. That is the end of the first quarter. The New York Giants and the Los Angeles Raiders scoreless before a few folks on a sunny Sunday afternoon. Finals in earlier this afternoon, and take a look at the Miami win over Buffalo.
17 straight home wins for Buffalo, right down the drain.
And then Minnesota came from behind with 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to win by 1. First and 10. Scoreless. Ball game thus far. Here's a gadget play. Sims looks on a crossing pattern right side for Ingram. And he has him out of bounds, first and goal. He had sent Stephen Baker into the end zone and then Ingram on the crossing pattern. And when you see that gadget play, the throwback, you normally don't see a crossing pattern at the end of it.
Well, the key to it is pass protection. After the fake, watch Hampton take the handoff, pitch it back, and now make a block to protect his quarterback. Because this takes about 7 seconds for Sims to find Ingram all the way on the other side of the field. This sets up the Giants inside the 10.
And inside the 20 this year, the Giants have been outstanding. Handoff, Rodney Hampton.
But you're right, Vern. On that type of flea flicker type of play, the wide receiver going deep is always the first look. And if you have time, you look at the crossing pattern underneath. And that time, the red zone for the Giants has been just outstanding. You can't get any better than that. And Handley told us yesterday he wants to get Derek Brown, the first-round pick from Michigan, more involved down here. Notre Dame, excuse me.
Oh, boy. Second and goal from the 5. Hampton. Touchdown, New York. It's Jared Bunch, number 33, instead of Rodney Hampton.
And when you see linebackers and guys fixing their pads, those pads get knocked sideways sometimes when the big guys are pushing up front. That offensive line just blew the Raiders off that right side. Easy touchdown for big Jared Bunch. Now, he did go to Michigan.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what you had in mind all along. It was very prescient of you. Matt Barr's extra point is up and good, so the New York Giants on a touchdown by Jared Bunch, his first running touchdown of the season, take a 7-0 lead.
The key block is by Doug Riesenberg. Actually, it's 2 blocks in 1. Watch as he comes down and takes Howie Long out of the play, and now he'll shift his attention to number 99, Winston Moss, and that's why Moss was adjusting his pads after that touchdown by Jared Bunch. Great play by Riesenberg.
Napoleon McCallum grabs the kickoff and drops to one knee. Touchback. He'll come out to the 20. And the Los Angeles Raiders have fallen behind 7-0. They've got the ball when we return.
This game summary is sponsored by Coors Light.
Earlier, Todd Marinovich injured his left hand when he hit his teammate Steve Wisniewski, but should be coming back into the lineup. The Giants have run on the Raiders, and they rushed for a touchdown that put them on top 7-0. Raiders have the ball now at their own 20.
You worry about this type of injury, whether he'll break a bone or something. But Marinovich never did go to the locker room for x-rays, so apparently he's feeling better.
First down and 10 from the 20. Play action on first down. Incomplete. And he had Mervin Fernandez open. Missed him.
Barry Williams on the coverage. Second and 10.
Mervin Fernandez, who was a starter earlier in the season, demoted after a loss. Gave way to Tim Brown. Marinovich, who was on the bench earlier, demoted, or rather came in for Jay Schrader. And
this is Tom Walsh. He's calling the plays now for the Raiders. He's on the headset down to Terry Robisky, and Robisky signals the plays into Marinovich.
Until this week, Terry Robisky had been calling the plays this year. Here's Dickerson cutting back after the sweep. He's still got the speed. Looks for a downfield block from Fernandez and gets enough to get by a potential tackler. He had a 40-yard touchdown run Monday night, longest run of the season. This one, a gain of 32.
And shows that old burst of speed, but what all running backs have is the cutback ability, the great vision. Watch as he sees the hole open up on the right side, and there's the burst of speed through it, and now he gets a little bit of help downfield. And that's a wonderful gain for the Raiders, who desperately need this type of performance from their star players.
First down after the 32-yard gain at the 48-yard line. Dickerson tests the middle and gets to the 45. I first saw Eric Dickerson as a high school senior in Sealy, Texas in the state championship game when he rushed for 311 yards and then said, I'm going to play collegiately at SMU.
And didn't do too poorly there with the Craig James in his backfield, the Pony Express. Were they fun to watch on the highlight shows?
Lance McElhaney was a part of that. Wes Hopkins, who's now with the Eagles. They had a terrific team back in the early 80s. Ron Meyer, the head coach.
Best team money could buy.
Went on probation for a while. And money bought a lot of it. There's the pass complete to Marinovich. Fumble! Picked up by McGriggs. Giants have it. Flag is down. And it's going to be a post-possession infraction, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to be clipping against the Raiders, or against the Giants on the return. But it will be Giant ball.
Lamar McGriggs picked up the fumble. Brought down by Willie Gall.
It's like Ray spilled some paint on his shirt.
Penalty is against the Giants.
Either that or had too many strawberries.
Illegal block in the back. On the return, number 52, 5-yard penalty. First down.
The foul is on Pepper Johnson.
This is the 8th fumble of the year for the Raiders. The shot by McGriggs. McGriggs picks it up after the hit by Jackson. There's the illegal block, and the Giants will take over at about the 15.
Raiders have had a self-destruct button through much of this season. They are dead last in the league in turnover ratio, and they just lost a fumble. From the 16, first down and 10, Hampton with Bob Cratch leading the way. And Hampton moves it up to the 23-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds by Lionel Washington.
They just had a nice gain by Eric Dickerson. They were moving the ball. Marinovich got back through a nice pass to his tight end, Horton, and then the fumble comes, and here's what we're talking about. Direct relationship between the turnovers and the W's and L's.
And you can update that and add 1 to the 15. They've now given it away 16 times this season. Second down and 3. Bunch, the short man, tests the middle and bounces into Ronnie Lott, who makes the tackle at the 36, but that's another 13-yard gain.
Let's watch Riesenberg so far. He's having an all-pro day as he takes Howie Long, an all-pro who wants to shoot that inside gap. And that's an indication that Long feels that he's undersized. He's always had to rely on his quickness. That time he tried to beat Riesenberg to the inside, and that exposed a huge hole on the right side.
First down and 10. Sims is 6 for 6. Make it 7 for 7. And the catch is made in front of Lionel Washington by Mark Ingram, who had only 5 coming in. Miami wins big in Buffalo, and Minnesota comes from behind to defeat Chicago.
Indianapolis with Jeff George back. Beat the Bucks.
Atlanta wins, and New Orleans wins on the road. Otis Anderson into the lineup now. In his 14th year in the National Football League. Otis gets the handoff. We were teasing him yesterday at the Giant practice about being the oldest running back in the league and not being bruised on Monday.
And all the punishment he's dealt out in his life, he's feeling a lot better, but he would like to get in the action a little bit more. That time he spelled bunch and picked up about 4 yards. What a great player, though, Otis Anderson has been all these years.
Oh, Ray Handley said one of the reasons he is still on this ball club, he can't help in special teams. Before you talk about leadership and inspiration. And he's a very important part of the 47-man roster. That's only his 4th carry of the year. Second down, the sweep, Hampton. Bounces from behind Jumbo Elliott. That huge shadow, and then runs into Ronnie Lott.
Well, if you dance around too long against the Raiders, this man is going to find you, and he's going to seek out and destroy. The greatest hitter I've ever seen from the safety position, Ronnie Lott, last week had 8 tackles against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I asked him, I said, when's the last time you had that many tackles? He said, that was the last time we played the New York Giants. Everybody knows and remembers the great battles that Lott had as a 49er against Sims and these Giants.
Well, one memorable scene was that of Ronnie Lott and Phil Sims when they played for the Giants and 49ers respectively, agreeing to disagree. 3-man rush. Sims, Ed McCaffrey, the wide receiver, with the catch at the 39 in front of Anthony Bell.
The one thing about Phil Sims that people always talk about is that he is a streak passer. He is on an 8-for-8 streak right now. And every time I see him get hot like this, I think back to that first Super Bowl when he was just fantastic. Playing in the biggest game of his life, the biggest game of the year, everybody watching, Super Bowl on the line, and Sims had the greatest day a quarterback could ever imagine.
And for the afternoon perfect, the Giants up 7-0. Raiders look like they might be sending a linebacker or two. They are. Audible, bunch, bounces off one tackle, and then he is cut down by Greg Townsend, number 93.
The Raiders have to do something like this. They have to create some type of pressure, get across the line of scrimmage. They're getting beat up front. Townsend playing out of position as a defensive tackle, more comfortable as a pass rushing defensive end.
Second down and 11. Touchdown scored by Jared Bunch early in this quarter, 7-0. That's the score. The Giants lead it, and they have the ball at the Raider 40-yard line. Blitz again. Sims, good protection. There'll be a holding call. Mark Ingram with a big catch, but bring this one back.
Now, even though it's holding against the Giants, Phil Sims just threw another great pass, right on the money. And I know he's upset that the play doesn't count and that there's going to be a penalty, but he's got to be feeling awfully good about his own ability to throw strikes.
Offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
And I've never known any quarterback that would get upset with any of these big guys up front for a holding call. Much rather have that penalty than to take a hit in the pocket.
Self-protection. That's Jumbo Elliott, and that wipes out a 24-yard gain. The Giants' 4th penalty of the first half, so it moves it back to the 50-yard line. Second down and 21. 7-0. Giants lead. They're back in Los Angeles in 2 weeks to take on the Rams down a couple of freeways in Anaheim. And trying to go 2-2 for the year. Delay of game call. That'll cost him 5 more.
And Phil taking responsibility and blame for it. You saw the Raiders jam the line of scrimmage. Lott was standing right up in there. Probably talking to Phil across the line of scrimmage, but Phil apparently was wanting to change the play with some type of audible and just ran out of time. So 2 penalties in a row set the Giants way back.
Second down and 26. Send 4, drop 7. Intercepted. Picked off by Lionel Washington. And he's got the ball at the Giant 40-yard line. That is only the 3rd pass interception of the season for the Raiders.
And do they ever need it? They get real good pressure on Sims. He's forced to step up into the pocket to avoid Howie Long, and now Washington has a chance to look at the pattern and make a break on the ball, and he picks up his first interception of the year. But watch the pressure here. Now it's to the secondary, where Washington can see the quarterback the whole way. Baker stops on his pattern, and Washington steps in front for the pick.
First interception of 92 for Lionel Washington. Turnovers are even. Dickerson hit once, then twice. Eric Dorsey is the second man to make contact. Well, Eric Dickerson had that one big run of 32 yards, but other than that, 5 runs for 3 yards.
Now, when you're a quarterback, you got to keep your head on a swivel after these interceptions, because watch for number 94 here come and tattoo the quarterback, number 11. Phil trying to make a tackle, gets one right in the side of the helmet.
Second down and 10. Dickerson toss left. Todd Pete trying to get up there in front of Eric Dickerson. Todd Pete has lost 90 pounds, but he's still toting about 309. And that was about 9 too many that time.
And he can't afford to be looking around for where Eric Dickerson is. He's got to get all that mass moving forward.
Todd, who played for the Phoenix Cardinals for a long time, had really what amounts to an eating disorder, and I don't mean to make light of that. He went to the Duke Medical Center and went on a medical diet at Duke University and did lose 100 pounds. So he really is svelte and is to be congratulated.
Yeah, it's a heck of an accomplishment. Can you imagine 100 pounds?
Third down and 4. I'm getting to the point where I can't imagine it. Blitz coming. Marinovich. Steve Smith, first down Raiders. Mark Collins with the tackle. That's a gain of 8. First down, Los Angeles. 7-0. Giants lead it.
The key on this play is to watch Horton come down the field here. He gets in the way and knocks 2 guys down. Smith comes out into the flat, and Marinovich is right on target. But watch the tight end. It's a little screen there, and he takes care of the linebacker, and it's a first down for L.A.
First down and 10.
Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy.
We've got 5:22 to go. First half play. Raiders trail by 7. Blitz coming again. Marinovich dropped. Mike Fox. A flag is down back at the 11-yard line.
Deep in the secondary. You might think it's against the Giants secondary here.
Oh, they're going to wave it off.
There was illegal contact on the play, but the quarterback was out of the pocket and sacked, no foul.
Well, he wasn't that far out of the pocket. He had stepped up and was looking to run, but got tackled before he could get started. Interesting call by the officials there.
I guess once he is out of the pocket, he loses protection and he becomes a runner.
Well,
that's what they always thought of you as.
Well, I don't know if they could think about that, because I never got out of the pocket unless I was heading to the sidelines to get some water or something.
Second down and 16. 7-0 ball game. Marinovich looking deep all the way. Willie Gault just tipped away. Oh, Perry Williams. Ray Hanley said, "I'm afraid of their speed," and Perry Williams saved 6.
Perry Williams must have a tremendous amount of speed for himself. The catch up here, the great fake by the Raiders. This play was the big 32-yarder where they fake it to Dickerson, and now the ball is well thrown. Marinovich thinks he has it. Gault thinks he has it. but Perry Williams knocks it away with the left hand at the last instant. What a play.
3rd and 16, 7-0. Giants lead, 4-man rush. Marinovich drills it at the 20. That is short of the first down. The catch is made by Willie Gault.
But that completion puts Jaeger into field goal range.
The problem is Jeff Jaeger has been having a really difficult season. 5 of 12 now. He missed from 45 earlier. Had a couple blocked.
Well, a couple of those misses, though, Vern, have been from beyond 50 yards. So he is an outstanding kicker, Pro Bowl kicker. And although he missed earlier from about this range, the Raiders need for him to put this one through.
38-yard effort. Nope. He hooked one from 48 Monday night. He hooked one from 38 on Sunday afternoon. That's Al Davis. In 1991, when he went to the Pro Bowl, Jeff Jaeger missed 5 for the season. And already in 92, he has missed 8, including both of his attempts this afternoon. It's been that kind of a year.
An indication of the way it's been going for this 0-4 team that trailing the Giants right now.
1st and 10, Phil Simms, 8 of 9. Here's Hampton going left. And Eddie Anderson makes the tackle, number 33. Well, the playoffs begin on CBS this week. The National League Championship, Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern. The Pirates and the Braves. Atlanta back in, of course, having lost the World Series last year. Game 1, Tuesday night, 8:30. It went 7 a year ago, and of course Atlanta wound up losing to Minnesota. Oakland and Toronto will start their playoff series on Wednesday this coming week, 2nd down, and that'll be on CBS. Rodney Hampton gets the carry. Hampton is now carried 10 times here in the first half for 30 yards.
You were seeing the type of game that Handley wants his offense to play. The ground control game, keeping it on the ground, wearing the opponent out. So far today, the offensive line of the Giants, especially Riesenberg, have been doing an outstanding job.
Rams and 49ers are tied. Washington rolling over Phoenix as expected. And David Treadwell just kicked a field goal to make it 7-3 Kansas City. Dave Meggett in on 3rd down and 2. Timeout. 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in the first half. Giants lead by 7. They've got a 3rd and 2 when we come back. Stephen Baker, the wide receiver for the Giants, grew up in Los Angeles, went to Hamilton High here. He used to be a security guard at the Coliseum during Raider games. First time he has ever played in the Coliseum, however. Said his high school kept getting beat in the first round of the playoffs. He went to West Los Angeles Junior College and became one of these fellas.
And even patrolled the Pasadena Rose Bowl, where he had to drive his little scooter on the side streets to get up there.
3rd and 2. Baker has yet to catch a pass today. Said he dreamt of having the kind of day that Eric Metcalf did here a couple of weeks back. Here's Rodney Hampton. That'll move the chain to the 35-yard line. 1st down. Ronnie Lott makes the tackle.
The good news for Baker is he gets to come home and play in front of all his family. The bad news is that 31 of them wanted free tickets at $33 pop. That's over $1,000 in free tickets. And Baker's got to come back here in 2 weeks. And you know they'll all want the same good seats.
No, he said he was making a family limit. Here's Rodney Hampton. Even if the Coliseum in Anaheim does not sell out, he's going to declare it a sellout. And tell the family he can only get 4.
Cheaper to buy a satellite dish.
Not a sellout here today. Coliseum in Los Angeles, 1:56 to go. First half of play. Giants leading 7-0, and they've got a 2nd down and 8.
And they have 2 timeouts remaining, and Sims, to get Barr in within 50 yards of a field goal, needs about 30 yards here.
Baker goes left against Lionel Washington. Ed McCaffrey and Mark Ingram are to the right side. Sims up in the pocket, across the middle to the 43-yard line. The catch is made by Mark Ingram. And Torin Dorn, number 46, makes the tackle.
See Ingram getting up, shaking his head. Dorn with a real strong tackle there.
Ingram had only 5 catches coming into the ballgame.
Well, he might have had a few more against the Bears, but he spent most of the game on the bench after getting tossed for throwing an elbow.
And injured against the Cowboys prior to that. Phil Sims, 10 of 11 for 112. 3rd down and 1. First down, Giants move the chain. See if they stop the clock with a timeout. They will, with 68 seconds to go before halftime.
That's one thing the Giants have done very well this year, is converting on 3rd downs. They're over 40%, which is puts them among the leaders in the league. But when you have a big fullback like Bunch, you got to give him the ball and get him behind that big offensive line.
Well, the Giants trying to go 2-2 and keep pace with the Cowboys in Philadelphia. They play on Monday night, and then next Sunday on CBS, the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Kansas City. Dan and I will be in Kansas City for that game. 49ers are in New England, and Phoenix against the New York Giants. Atlanta will be at Miami. So check local listings for the game in your area. Giants win here today. They go 2-2. Back home against Phoenix and then back out here against the Rams. They could be looking, Dan, at a 5-2 record 7 games in.
And then they get the Seahawks in New York, so the schedule does soften up a bit here for the Giants.
The Giant team blown out 31-14 by the 49ers. They came back to lose 34-28 to the Cowboys, having been down 34-0. 3-man rush. Sims protection. McCaffrey with the catch. He's at the 48, and a flag is thrown. This may be unnecessary roughness against the Los Angeles Raiders.
Absolutely, a late hit. McCaffrey was stood up by a couple of Raiders, and then a late shot gets the flag.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Number 59, 15-yard penalty.
Going to get Anthony Bell for it. And one of the Raiders' mottos is pride and poise. Well, this is losing your poise. Taking a cheap shot right there. The whistles had already blown because McCaffrey obviously wasn't going anywhere. The bad thing for the Raiders now is that this puts the Giants in field goal range.
Talking with Art Shell about his sideline demeanor yesterday and how he keeps his composure. He said, one thing I have learned, panic is contagious. And he tries to stay poised even if all about him is in chaos. First down and 10. That could be a hugely significant penalty. Sims wide open. Stephen Baker crossing pattern. 1st and goal. His first catch in the Coliseum. And it comes before 31 members of his immediate family.
And you can hear them all cheering too.
They've all got great seats.
Great job by Baker trying to live up to his nickname of the touchdown maker. The protection's outstanding for Sims. It's a deep crossing route for Baker. But watch as after he catches the ball, he'll turn it up and dive to get down near the end zone.
Phil Sims had his team at the line of scrimmage, and then he realized that his backs were in the wrong alignment. He had to use a timeout. He was angry when he was forced to call it. Jared Bunch was lined up in the wrong position.
And the angry thing for Sims is that that's his last time out of the first half. So if the Giants don't succeed in getting in from the 1-yard line here on the first play, they're going to have to hustle back to the line of scrimmage.
New York Giants quarterback Phil Sims.
Phil Sims, 12 of 13 for 149. That was a 32-yard pass to Stephen Baker. 22 seconds now, Dan. And go back to that point about the red zone. They've been inside the 20 once today. They got the touchdown. They are perfect in scoring every time they've been inside the 20 so far this year.
This is what I love to see from a receiver, realizing where he is on the field and finding just a little gap, took off from about the 7-yard line and dove all the way to the 1.
Now the Los Angeles Raiders call timeout.
Well, what the Giants did there is they went to the sidelines and they changed personnel. And the Raiders were still stuck with their goal line defense. Shell saw it, called timeout. They want to try to match up personnel here.
22 seconds to go before halftime. Coming up at the half, Greg and Terry with scores and highlights and the latest information from around the league. I can't wait to see the highlights again of that Minnesota come from behind over Chicago. They score 21 unanswered points and win that one 21-20.
One would kind of wonder about the stamina of the Bears against the Giants. They looked absolutely worn out at the end of the game, that fourth quarter. And now to give up all those points in the fourth quarter to Minnesota, that's really has to have Ditka's attention there.
Vikings go to 4-1. And Tampa Bay loses its second of the season. And now we're set to go back. This Raider defense.
And now the Giants changed their personnel again, took their wide receivers out of the game. So we're seeing a chess match now between Handley and Shell.
Derek Brown is tight to the left. He's in motion now. Flag is down. And this will come back. It happened before the snap.
Handoff to Rodney Hampton.
Well, this has been kind of a disorganized couple of minutes.
Washington on the stop.
Encroachment defense, number 42 before the snap. Please reset the clock to 22 seconds.
Ronnie Lott.
Well, Lott knows he has to make something happen. He has to get across the line of scrimmage, get his silver helmet somewhere near the ball, and pop it loose. The Raiders can't afford to go down 14-0 here to the Giants, who appear to get stronger as the game goes on.
Ronnie Lott got his 60th career interception in the Monday night loss. We were chatting with Everson Walls yesterday, who has 55 in his career. He said, didn't that make you sick watching him catch that? They've been chasing each other for the duration of their careers. First and goal. Hampton, no. They will have to hurry. Clock is down to 15 seconds.
The referees are going to stop the clock because they see the Raiders just laying on top of Hampton. You see Jones there and Ellison.
Eddie Anderson claims he came out with the ball. Gary Lane's having none of that. Now Gary Lane stopped the clock. Sims will try and do what?
And now we've got a flag. And this might be delay a game against the Raiders.
Timeout. Los Angeles Raiders, their second charge timeout.
99 interfered with the snap. I heard Jerry Bergman say that.
And that's Winston Moss of the Raiders. And we'll see if this penalty will stand or if they got the timeout called first. But why would they be calling timeout?
The lack of pride and poise. Jerry Bergman, you could hear him say to Gary Lane, 99 interfered with the snap. Now here's Gary Lane.
Interference with the snap on the defense, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Well, he didn't identify Winston Moss, but that's who it was.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why the Raiders called timeout there. All this does is give the Giants a chance to go back to the huddle and get a good play called. They only have about 6 inches to go for the touchdown. Somebody made a big mistake in that Raider defense by calling that timeout.
Now, what do you do with your out of timeouts? 15 seconds to go.
When you're this close and you have running backs such as Bunch and Hampton, you give them the ball and just power it in.
Another timeout was called, or so indicated by the Raiders.
Here's Townsend coming in and playing like a quarterback. He wanted Oates to snap him the ball. Never seen anything like that before. Unbelievable. Greg Townsend. Oh, you know he was a high school quarterback at some point.
Well, he played collegiately at TCU for a guy named Jim Wacker. I wonder if Jim taught him that.
He had the wrong snap count.
2nd and goal. They'll throw it. Caught. Incomplete. Baker couldn't hang on.
Baker was doing an imitation of a former teammate of mine, John Jefferson, trying for the one-handed grab in the end zone. Had control for an instant, but as he pulls it into his body, he's going to hit the ground. Never quite could control it. And the Giants miss a golden opportunity there.
3rd and goal.
But from 6 inches, you got to run this ball straight at him.
Even with 11 seconds to go?
Absolutely. Go with your best play.
Maybe that was the best play. Flag is down. And Sims is too.
They're going to get the Raiders for holding in the secondary. But see how much that one penalty where Sims had to call timeout after Baker got the ball down to the 1-yard line. There was some confusion. Sims had to call the last timeout, and that may have ended up costing New York a touchdown, because it certainly altered the play selection of the Giants.
And now they will go, Dan, with the field goal.
Got to come away with something, but what a weird turn of events there.
Defense, number 59, half the distance to the goal line, 1st down.
Anthony Bell. And now Matt Barr will try only his 4th field goal of the season. So a really crazy sequence of plays in the final minute or so. Barr's kick is up and good. And Ray Handley's Giants move the length of the field. A 32-yard pass to Baker sets up the field goal, but they couldn't get it in for the touchdown.
Having to use that timeout really changed things. They went with the wide receivers, tried to throw 2 fade patterns in a row, and they had to come away with just 3 points.
$79 yards in 10 plays for the New York Giants.
And that was a good 2-minute drive engineered by Phil Sims. Good pass protection, that offensive line just controlling the line of scrimmage for New York.
And 2 seconds to go before the halftime break. Sims 12 of 14 for 149.
The bookmark is free, courtesy of your Los Angeles.
That's the most telling statistic for a quarterback is average per attempt, and Sims right now is over 10 yards per attempt.
I think the play of the sequence was Greg Townsend.
If that doesn't make all the highlight shows, I don't know what will. Kind of a heads-up move, you know, you never know. Oates, he doesn't know whose hands are back there.
Napoleon McCallum back to return the punt. 79 yards on the drive in 10 plays, and Barr with an 18-yard field goal. Squib kick. Taken by Dan Turk, and he is down at the 33-yard line. That is the end of the first half with our score. The New York Giants 10, the Los Angeles Raiders 0. Greg and Terry coming up.
The NFL Today Dockers Halftime Report is sponsored by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does color like Dockers.
Those of you who have been watching the Giants and the Raiders, welcome back to our studios, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. The Giants leading the Raiders at halftime 10-0. Elsewhere at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, a field goal by Mike Kofer from 26 yards out is the difference. The Niners lead the Rams 10-7. They've started the 3rd quarter there. They've just gone to halftime at Sun Devil Stadium in Arizona, where the Cardinals trail the Redskins 17-0. The Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs have reached halftime. The Chiefs lead the Broncos 10-3. Denver has now been without a touchdown for 11 consecutive quarters. And in San Diego, the Chargers leading the Seahawks 10-3. The Chargers looking for their first win of the year. That game approaches halftime in San Diego. Earlier today at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, the Bills lost their first of the year. The Dolphins are undefeated. 4-0 are the Dolphins with a 37-10 win. And there's the new man in town, Keith Jackson. What a pretty good debut today, huh?
Had a great day. This is what he'll bring to you. He will bring you the effort, out running, Marino scrambling, looking for his wide receiver, intercepted by Keith Jackson.
Meanwhile, what a day Louis Oliver had. 3 interceptions of the 4 that Jim Kelly had picked off. He returned this one 103 yards for the touchdown. Meanwhile, Dan Marino, 3 touchdown passes. And for the Miami fans, there's a new pass-catch combination in town.
It looked like he looked at me. He was looking at me, and he threw the ball to me, so I'm going to catch it.
Yes, it was. It definitely was. Even if it wasn't, it was lying.
He was looking at me, and we got eye contact, and once the quarterback get eye contact with the receiver, you feel it's going to come to you. And I just caught it and ran to the end zone.
Sounds like out of a movie. Are you looking at me? But a quarterback likes that, doesn't it?
Sure. The effort's what you look for. And Jackson, I mean, gosh, I'm surprised he even knew this offense, which is very complicated. But he got out there, and he saw Marino scrambling, made his move, got out there, got open for him, made the interception. And then the great effort, which we have certainly seen him when he was with the Eagles, down the sideline with that great speed.
Now, how about the fans in Chicago? What kind of a reception will they give the Chicago Bears tonight? The Bears blew a 20-0 fourth quarter lead in Minnesota. The Vikings won it 21-20. In the fourth quarter, Roger Craig got the go-ahead touchdown, but it was an audible call by Jim Harbaugh earlier that bothered Mike Ditka. That was the call. This is the play. Todd Scott picked it off, returned it 35 yards for the touchdown. It was only a 20-7 game here, but it brought the Vikings back, and it bothered the heck out of Mike Ditka.
If the situation arises again, there will be changes made, and they'll be definite, and they'll be permanent. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to put 47 guys' careers in the hand of somebody who thinks he knows more than I know. That's just the way I feel.
I called an audible, and their guy read it perfectly, came up and tried to get the ball over Neal's head, throw it away, and, he made a good play.
Did you not think Scott could get near it?
When I called the audible, yeah.
Well, tell me, what did Mike Ditka say to you?
Just pretty much the same thing I think he said in the press conference.
Which was pretty harsh.
Yeah, it was pretty harsh. It's all right. You take the good and the bad.
Quarterback gets up there, takes a look at what he sees in front of him, makes a judgment call, right?
He wouldn't have made the audible had he not been coached in that situation to make that audible. But what it did was the interception didn't cost the Bears the game. It was only 20-7 at this point. But it brought the crowd in. It got the Vikings their confidence. And then the tongue lashing that Jim got on the sideline didn't help his cause any.
All right, Terry. Elsewhere, in Tampa, Jeff George, pretty good day in the second half. The Colts pull even at 2-2. They beat the Buccaneers 24-14. In Atlanta, Chris Miller, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Andre Rison. The Falcons snapped their 3-game losing streak, 24-10 over the Packers. And in Detroit, the Saints control the ball for 41 minutes today and beat the Lions 13-7. That's 2 straight losses for the Lions in the Silverdome. And the NFL Today continues here on CBS after this from your local station.
Shots of downtown Los Angeles and the Coliseum being taken today from the Bud 1 airship, which is stationed just east of Los Angeles in Pomona, California. It's piloted by Peter Buckley, Maurice Milemans, Mike Hance, and the cameraman is Keith Doyle. We're at halftime with the Giants leading by a 10-0 count. Los Angeles trying to win its first game of 1992. Is the mystique gone?
I think it's definitely changed. Having played the Raiders 30 times over my 15-year career and growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area as a 49er fan and not a Raider fan, you talk to people like Fred Biletnikoff and the other old-time Raiders that have been around for a long time, and because of the Plan B acquisitions, the free agent acquisitions, there are fewer guys on this black and silver team now that were drafted that have the chance to say, hey, listen, I'm a Raider, whether I was an Oakland Raider or an L.A. Raider. There's something about being loyal, to have that pride and all that, all those slogans and everything. And they did have a mystique. They were the Bandits. They were the bad guys. They had the great nickname, the Raiders. But a lot of those things have changed now. There's one of the all-time great ones, wide receiver Fred Blitnikoff, now the receiver coach.
That's 2 weeks in a row for Fred and the cigarette. Got him Monday night and got him today.
Well, that's not hard to do. He's got one going most of the time. There's a Raider for you right there, smoking on the sideline.
People who never saw Fred Blitnikoff play this game missed something special.
Well, thank goodness we have films and tapes of his career and a lot of the great old Raiders.
10-0 at halftime, and the Giants will kick off to the Raiders. Dan Land and Napoleon McCallum wait for it. This will be McCallum at the 5. Got some room. Gets by Matt Barr. And returns it 41 yards. At the half, the Giants with 13 first downs to 6 for the Raiders, and an edge in rushing and passing yards. Turnovers are 1 apiece. Every statistical advantage goes to New York.
But on those turnovers, neither team could score. After the interception off of Sims by Washington, the Raiders turned it right back over on Ethan Horton's fumble.
7 points in the last 6 quarters for the offense of Los Angeles. They're 54 yards away right now. Willie Gault comes back to the near side. Dickerson is forced inside into the arms of Lawrence Taylor. I think we told you the Giants came out to Los Angeles on Friday night, got out here early Friday evening. LT set his alarm clock early yesterday, went out and played a round of golf, and missed the morning meetings for the New York Giants.
But he did have a good round of golf, he said.
Don't know what he's more pained by, the number of 3 putts or the fine.
I think it was the 3 putts that cost his attention. He said he shot a 79. If I'm 3-putting, it's a 99.
Second down, 11. Second and 9, rather. Marinovich flips it incomplete. And a flag is down. They'll call this on Carl Banks. He was covering Eric Dickerson.
Penalty flag on the play.
Interesting, the Raiders trying to get the ball to Dickerson by way of the pass. Yeah.
Never, ever known as a pass
Defensive
receiver.
pass interference. Number 58 on the defense. First down.
That roll out of the backfield for the Raiders, of course, dominated by Marcus Allen, who is one of the great pass-catching backs ever to play the game.
Haven't seen much of Marcus Allen, though.
Marinovich out for a series with an injured throwing hand. He's back in there now, play action. Rush coming, he's flushed. Gets by Eric Dorsey, goes deep, incomplete. Perry Williams again doing a good job coming across field and defending on the play. Intended for Willie Gault.
Getting back to what you talked about, Marinovich's relationship with Marcus Allen, I asked him, you know, every quarterback has one guy on the team when he's back to pass can really count on. We like to call him the security blanket. In San Diego, I had guys like Charlie Joyner and Kellen Winslow. Marcus Allen is that to Todd Marinovich. Both went to SC, and Marinovich calls Marcus the best player he's ever played with.
Second down and 10. Marinovich just does get rid of it this time, facing pressure. He was going down as he let it go for Willie Gault, and Lamar McGriggs was defending on the play.
Again, this is Tom Walsh, the new play caller for the Raiders, standing up in the back of the booth here. And so far, it hasn't changed the way the Raiders have scored or moved the ball. They're just not getting it done.
There is Terry Robisky, who was until last week in charge of calling the plays. And Marcus Allen has come in now, replacing Eric Dickerson. Third down. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. There goes Marinovich. And he's going to be close for the first down. It appears that he's going to be maybe a half yard short. And might Art Shell and the Raiders go for it on 4th down?
Well, he's sending in Eric Dickerson and Andrew Glover, the reserve tight end. Now David Jones. So these 20,000 or so here at the Coliseum have
You're being generous.
Raised their voice and said, go for it. And Shell says, why not? Down 10-0. We've lost 4 in a row. We got to get something going. Now Dickerson comes out.
4th and 1. And Marcus Allen is in the backfield. That should be enough for the 1st down.
First down, Raiders.
You know, you talk about great players, and Marcus Allen is a great player because of the unselfish attitude. Watch as he takes DiAsi out of the way and allows the big fullback Steve Smith to go over the top, pick up the 1st down. A real class act. Marcus Allen catching the ball out of the backfield, playing very limited now, but still a real team player.
1st down and 10 Raiders. They trail 10-0. 12:22 to go. Here's the toss to Dickerson. He comes left and is knocked down as a flag goes down as well. Steve DiAsi, a part of the tackle. Carl Banks. And a Giant is down at the 40-yard line. That's DiAsi, who's a little slow getting up.
Penalty is against the Raiders.
Penalty against Los Angeles.
And this is what's driving Shell nuts. Remember, early in the 1st half.
Holding, 76 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Early in the 1st half, Dickerson gets the 32-yarder. The very next play, Horton fumbles. Now Shell goes for it on 4th and 1. They pick up the 1st down. They're trying to get some momentum going, something positive happening. The very next play, they get a holding call. That's why they're 0-4.
And the struggle continues. 12:05 remaining. 1st down and 20. Marinovich, 4-man rush, screen pass right side for Smith. He gets a heck of a block, and he's got some room. He's to the 32-yard line. My goodness, what a block he got by Wisniewski, I believe it was, to set him free.
Well, here's Wisniewski right here, and he's going to get out on the screen. This is a perfect call by Tom Walsh. 1st down and a lot of yardage. Here's Wisniewski, 76, and he just crushes Lawrence Taylor out of the way, and Smith has a big gain, slows down for Mosbar, and that just brings up 2nd and short.
2nd down and 1, a gain of 19, 10-0. Giants lead it. Dickerson inside the 30. They'll move the chain to pick up the 1st down.
If Art Shell and these Raiders have any chance of winning, they've got to score a touchdown on this possession. Start of the 2nd half, they got a good return from McCallum, put them in good starting field position. They've converted on a 4th and short, and now they pick up a 1st down after a penalty on 1st down, and that set them way back.
Did I see that last score correctly? Did I see San Diego leading Seattle 17-3?
Stop the presses.
There's Todd Pete. Don Mosbar. 1st down and 10 Raiders. They trail by 10. Marinovich, good downfield coverage that time, and he finds his tight end, Ethan Horton. And Horton has the ball at the 22-yard line. Steve DiAsi with the tackle.
Steve DiAsi on the tackle.
Marinovich shows a lot of poise here and gives us an indication of the type of athlete he is. Watch as he feels the pressure. He's going to slide backwards, backpedal a little bit here. Sees his receiver, and now just gives him a nice soft touch. Easy catch for Horton, and brings up another good situation for an offense, 2nd and short.
2nd down and 3. 9th play of the drive. Taylor's offside. And that'll be a 1st down. Raiders inside the 20.
Encroachment, defense, number 56, before the snap, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
I talked to Lawrence yesterday at practice, Vern, and asked him how that shoulder was. He took that big lick from Brad Muster against the Bears, and he said, well, it's doing okay. And I said, I'm sorry, big fella, I didn't have any sympathy for you at all. after all the bruises you put on my body. And he said, well, you know, I'm getting older, and every time I hit somebody, I get up and I feel like something's broken. I said, well, now you know how I felt all those times. No sympathy for LT from me.
No. First down and 10. 10-0. Opening drive, second half. Marinovich again with time. Dickerson with what is for him a very rare occasion, a catch.
That's just his third on the year. But you were seeing the difference in the Raider pass offense. Again, it's a shorter set for Marinovich. Good rhythm, got rid of the ball, and got it to Dickerson on the first down.
How about the work of the offensive line on this drive?
They're controlling the Giants so far, and the good thing that they're doing is they're giving the young quarterback time to throw, and his confidence is going to start building.
Second down and 6 with 9:14 to go, third quarter. Dickerson inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3. Lawrence Taylor makes the stop for the Giants.
But down by Lawrence Taylor and Mike Fox.
This drive began with a 41-yard kickoff return from Napoleon McCallum, and they got it out to the 45-yard line. They have, as Dan pointed out, overcome a 1st and 20 after a holding call. You're looking at Terry Robisky, who is signaling the plays in, having received them from Tom Walsh. Third down. 3rd and 3. Raiders at the 9. In the end zone, incomplete. 4th down. Now then, Jaker has missed 2.
Well, he's going to get another try, though. Fans aren't going to like it, but Shell needs points in any way, shape, or form, and he's going to try the field goal from Jeff Jager.
Jager, the All-American at the University of Washington, drafted by Cleveland, acquired by the Raiders in Plan B, and a Pro Bowler a year ago.
Jeff Jager.
But 5 for 13
to attempt the field goal
in 92.
Jeff Gossett to hold.
Gossett will hold. 26-yard effort. And the slump is over for the moment. Those are cheers filled with just the slightest tinge of sarcasm.
Each year,
Raiders open the third quarter with a 46-yard drive, 11 plays. They have to settle for 3, which drew the ire of the president of the General Partners, official title, Al Davis. 11 plays, 46 yards, and Jacob will kick off. Joey Smith and Dave Meggett are the deep man. This will be Meggett at the 4. Good downfield coverage by the Raiders. Led by Mike Jones, number 52. 8:16 remaining third quarter. Rather modest crowd watching. Giants lead by 7. Among those who play in the National Football League, each man finds his own way of getting ready to play football. Ricky Ellison yesterday said he was going home and put on Beethoven's 9th Symphony and turned it up as loud as he could. He did. And Ricky Ellison with 8 tackles altogether in the ballgame so far. Here's Rodney Hampton on first down.
And number 9 for Ricky Ellison there. That was his best shot of the day. You think he was hearing the Beethoven's 9th as he was preparing to hit Hampton that time?
It's all a matter of timing.
He said he wanted to go home and listen to this music to relax and get fired up. I said, wait a minute. How do you relax and get fired up at the same time? He says, I don't know, I'm just going to bring it. I'm a linebacker.
Well, he brought it as Beethoven brought it yesterday, the 9th Symphony and the Ode to Joy. Second down, 10-3. Sims back, sidearms it, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long. Torin Dorn, who somehow has got to be related to Jim Zorn.
You wonder about parents that name their children Torn when their last name is Dorn.
one of my favorite stories about Jim Zorn, who played, of course, for the Cowboys and then for the Seattle Seahawks. Jim said when his son was born, they were going to name him Bjorn, so that the headline would say, Bjorn Zorn born. Third and 8. Stunts, no blitz. Make it. Can't shake the tackle of Ronnie Lott, and then he gets an earful from the soon-to-be Hall of Famer.
Well, if Megan doesn't fall down, he's got a chance of picking up this first down, but he's doomed as soon as he goes to the turf, because the first guy coming to get him is number 42, and you just don't get away from Ronnie Lott.
And then Ronnie Lott started jawing at him. Now Tim Brown, who is averaging 14 yards per return, waits for Sean Landetta's punt. Landetta has had one block and one deflected this year. There was motion in the line, and a flag came down.
Full start. Offense number 34 before the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Lewis Tillman moving before the snap, and Landetta really ripped that ball. Of course, there was no pressure coming at him, but the Giants are starting to unwind a little bit. This is not a real good start for their offense to start the second half.
The Aussie snap a little low. Landetta's punt, a good one. Chasing Brown back to the 36, where he is forced to make a fair catch because Chris Callaway was right in his face. That is a 62-yard punt for Sean Landetta. Raiders had a most impressive drive to open the second half, but had to settle for a short field goal from Jeff Jager. Now following that 62-yard punt, Tom Walsh calls the plays for the Los Angeles Raiders, who have a first down at their own 36-yard line. Marinovich, 9 of 15, 98 yards. No interceptions. He's been sacked once. Good protection again. Wide open is Glover, the tight end. As a flag is thrown on the far side of the field, some 50 yards away from the ball. 24 yards catch. And it'll come back.
And I think the reason Glover was so wide open, it's because of the offensive pass interference against the Raiders. It was definitely a pick.
Offensive pass interference, number 87 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, Glover pushed off to get open. And a big play gets called back. Left side of the screen, he's working against in the middle there. Corey Raymond is number 39. But that's DiAsi, and that's a terrible call by the officials. Absolutely terrible call on calling Glover for pass interference on that play.
Yeah.
The official got in the way of DiAsi more than anybody else.
First down and 20. And a 24-yard gain wiped out by that call. Here's Dickerson. That's his 10th carry. 9 carries for 43 yards, and 32 of those yards came on one toe to the football.
You know, Dickerson reminds me a lot of Herschel Walker, an I-back who is effective when he's deep in the backfield. And towards the end of his career, we've seen this a lot from Dickerson, where he'll get nothing, 1 or 2 plays or 10 plays, and then there'll be that one long run. Similar to Herschel Walker, still dangerous, but not on a consistent basis.
Second down and 20. Dickerson on the sweep. He cuts it back and is knocked down at the 32-yard line by Pepper Johnson, number 52.
I just can't believe that pass interference called against Glover. He was down the field when the flag, with the ball in his hand, long way down the field when the flag was thrown. And it was the umpire, actually, who gets in the way
A 6-yard gain.
Bob Bolster, watch right in here.
From the 32.
That's Steve Diassi, number 99.
And that's no way that that could be construed as pass interference against Glover. I'm sorry.
3rd down and 14. Marinovich back. Giants are stunning defensively. The pass could be picked off. No. It's caught and the race is on. Tim Brown. No flags down. Mark Collins gambled for the pick. It went the other direction for 68 yards and 6.
Now, there's a million cliches you can come up with. Sometimes better to be lucky than good. That's what Marinovich is on this play. Here's the outside pattern. Watch Collins. He breaks on the ball. If he catches it, he's gone for a touchdown the other way. Ball goes right through his hands to Tim Brown, and it's 6 for the Raiders. Game of inches, huh?
And now to tie it up, here's Jager's extra point. Marinovich to Brown, 68 and a tie. Todd Marinovich, 68 yards to Tim Brown. And the score is tied at 10.
Talking upstairs with Coach Mike White. And Mark Collins still can't believe he didn't pick this one off.
Jager's kickoff, make it at the goal line. Flag is down. So is Meggett. Tackle made by Dave Waymer, number 44.
This will push the Giants back. You know it's going to be one of those illegal blocks.
That'll be against the New York Giants, back inside the 15-yard line.
Raiders is going to score.
Illegal block in the back on the return team, number 57. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Now this is a 14-point play because Collins, if he catches it, it's going to be the Giants with a touchdown, but Brown makes the grab to tie the game up. Not completely at 100% speed because of that left hamstring, but good enough to get in the end zone.
1st down and 10 at the 10. Sims rolls right, fires it. Rodney Hampton out to the 19-yard line. The year in which Tim Brown won the Heisman Trophy, 1986, he was a star at Notre Dame. And I saw him return a punt in this stadium against Southern California as Notre Dame won in the come from behind. And here we are 6 years later. He catches a 68-yard pass from a former USC quarterback. At the 20, 2nd down and 1. Bunch at the 24, 1st down, New York. Well, we've got a moment. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel back in our studios in New York.
All right, Vern, at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the Rams have turned this game around in the last half minute. Steve Young picked off by Robert Bailey, who returns 24 yards for the touchdowns. 10 points in the last 26 seconds, and the Rams now lead the 49ers 17-10, 12.5 to play in the 4th, Vern.
Interesting, Greg. The Los Angeles Rams always seem to play well up at Candlestick. And they're doing it again. Here's Sims looking deep, settles short, and it's caught at the 32-yard line. The catch is made by Derek Brown. That is his 1st of the season.
That makes it his 1st of his career then. Number 1 pick. You know, the Rams, they've won 3 of their last 5 games up there in Candlestick, and I don't think anybody would have figured on them having a lead against the Niners this afternoon.
Well, they went in as 2-touchdown underdogs, and they lead it by 7. We are tied here at 10-10. And the Raiders have dominated the second half of this ball game, which has 2:18 remaining. Blitz coming. Sweep to the left side. Hampton cuts inside the bunch block, and he gets to the 35. That'll be a first down.
Yeah, the Giants have been tied with 10 unanswered points now, and Handley's got to be wondering if this is the team that had the bad 6 quarters to begin the year. But I think the real positive that Handley has is his quarterback, Phil Simms, has been playing excellent football, is off to having a wonderful afternoon so far, and is a tremendous leader. He won't let this team, he won't let them down, and he won't let themselves get down.
Big play by Hampton.
And talking to Jim Fossil, the offensive coordinator, about Phil, he says his leadership is probably the most amazing thing about Phil. You know, you got to be a leader to play this position, but the Giants seem to respond when Phil talks. It's that old E.F. Hutton type of thing. Everybody listens to this guy.
His team now tied 10-10. Second down and 3. Final minute, third quarter. Here's Jared Bunch again. Last year's #1 pick. He runs into Anthony Bell. That's the 9th carry for Jared Bunch.
And you notice the Giants are keeping it on the ground. Giant football is to try to wear your opponent down. That time the Raiders came across the line of scrimmage with a little quickness there and got Bunch before he could get started. This is a crucial third down situation coming up.
Could be the final play, quarter number 3. 3rd and 2 in a 10-10 game. Dave Meggett in the backfield. Meggett. That will be very close. Need to get to the 46. Handley looks at the spot.
Gain of 3 yards on the play.
And I believe they will bring the chain out on the field for the measurement. Don't think they'll eyeball this one.
The one thing about Meggett is at only 180 pounds, when he hit the Raiders, he did not go any further. They pushed him back, bringing up this measurement. Just enough, though.
Giants retain possession.
This hole is going to close real quickly, but about 8 inches too late, as Meggett just barely gets the first down.
That is the end of the third quarter with our score. The New York Giants 10 and the Los Angeles Raiders 10. We began the fourth quarter from the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The Bud 1 airship, which is stationed just east of LA in Pomona, California, providing the pictures. It's piloted by Peter Buckley, Maurice Milemans, and Mike Hance. The cameraman is Keith Doyle. And following its appearance here, the Bud 1 airship heads up to Oakland to watch the Athletics and the Blue Jays do battle in the American League Championship Series.
That's my favorite brand of blimp.
First and 10. 10-10 ball game. Play fake. Simms rolls right, just does get rid of it, and it's a one-hopper in the arms of Ronnie Lott. It'll be second down and 10.
Now we move into the fourth quarter where the Giants feel that they want to be with the ball, wearing out their opponent. Fortunate thing is that the game is still tied, but they've been outplayed this entire second half, at least that third quarter, by the Raiders. And you think back to the way the first half ended when the Giants had to settle for a field goal from inside the 1-yard line because they didn't have enough timeouts to run goal line type of plays.
They had a first and goal at the 1, no timeouts, and wound up settling for an 18-yard field goal from Matt Barr. Simms dropped. Second sack today. Howie Long's first.
Well, this is Howie's first sack of the year here. And Sims is a big, strong quarterback, and he almost is strong enough to pull away from number 75. But that's the speed that Howie Long is famous for, taking the inside and a beeline right to the quarterback.
It's 3rd down and 19. Howie Long reminiscing with us yesterday about other great Villanova football players in the NFL.
Took him a while to find one, didn't it? Mike Ciani, old Raider wide receiver.
Short list. 3rd and 19. Sims. Receiver slips and falls, incomplete. And Mark Ingram is looking for a call. He doesn't get one.
He's not going to get one because the officials saw that they just got their feet tangled up. He's the inside receiver of the 3 here, working on the corner route against Terry McDaniel. This is good coverage, almost trademark coverage of the Raiders secondary over the years, the bump and runs, and that is not pass interference. Just got their feet tangled up.
Landetta to Tim Brown. Fair catch. I wonder if he's not worried about that hamstring of his.
Absolutely. He had a lot of room to run that one back.
Dave Waymer and Chris Calloway agree to meet after the ball game. We'll return to the LA Coliseum after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Just off the coast of California, surf's up almost every afternoon.
You never know who you might run into out there. Might be Todd Marinovich.
Well, he went south of LA yesterday and said he was going to surf for about an hour. He was equating not surviving one of those waves with being caught for a sack.
And somebody asked him, what's the difference between getting hit by a wave and getting hit by a guy like Lawrence Taylor? Well, the obvious answer is the wave doesn't hurt as much. He said you got to roll with it. The same type of thing with a tackle. Just relax and go with the tackle or the wave. And when you're underwater, you got to hold your breath and hope that you have enough air in your lungs until everything calms down. You can come up again. Interesting combination of interest for Todd Marinovich, avid surfer and a very accomplished artist.
Specializes in portrait work, as a matter of fact. Nick Bell is in the lineup now for the Raiders.
He's having an artistic afternoon so far.
10 of 16. Here's the handoff to Bell. He comes right and he's caught and dropped at the 18-yard line by Lamar McGriggs.
Lamar McGriggs on the tackle. 1 yard loss. Second.
You know, we saw Marinovich kind of lose his composure on Monday night against the Chiefs. Today he's been more focused, and I think the change of having Tom Walsh call the plays instead of Terry Robisky has helped Todd. Todd told me yesterday that he felt that he could anticipate the calls better. He has a better idea of what the coach wants now that Walsh is calling the plays.
2nd down, 11 with 13:32 remaining in the game. Screen pass. Bell, Pepper Johnson, good open field tackle. That was a big play defensively.
And it was an outstanding play because not only did Pepper have to make the tackle, he had to fight off the block of Todd Pete. Did that and got Bell down for little or no gain.
Here comes Nick Bell out of the lineup. 3rd down and 12. Raiders looking for their first win of 92. Giants trying to even the record. Here comes the blitz. Marinovich up in the pocket, deep across the middle, incomplete. 4th down. Meanwhile, the Rams are playing the 49ers. Let's find out what's going on. Here's Greg.
All right, Vern, Terry Bradshaw diagrammed it in the pregame. Steve Young runs it in the 4th quarter. 8 yards and a touchdown with the extra point. The Rams and the Niners are tied at 17, just under 6.5 to play in the game. Vern and Dan.
And we've got 12:39 remaining here. Here's Jeff Gossett on the punt.
Now, Greg's not indicating to us that Bradshaw's taking credit for that touchdown, is he?
Here's the punt taken by Meggett out of a tackle. And down at the 42.5-yard line. Stop made by Derek Hoskins, number 20. That's a 49-yard punt. And 10 on the return.
There are very few people in this league that have this type of ability. Elvis Patterson's going to miss him right there. And then the show is on.
John Smoltz for the Atlanta Braves. 1st and 10 Giants, 10-10 ball game. Jared Bunch fights off one tackle, that of Greg Townsend, and then runs into Ronnie Lott. That's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
It's interesting to note the Giants are going back to the run after their last possession. When we changed ends, the 4th quarter began, the Giants went to 3 straight pass plays, 1 incomplete, a sack, and then another incomplete. Now it's back to the ground for New York.
2nd and 3. They try the sweep, Bunch and Hampton. Hampton fights off a tackle and no gain. Winston Moss, number 99, with the stop.
Anthony Smith is number 94 on the left side of the line of scrimmage. It's called stringing the play out. Just neutralizing Riesenberg that time and letting the other guys help him out on that tackle. Now this is mist blowing down on the Raiders from a thing they call Mr. Breeze. And this is an innovation that the Raiders have here when it gets warm, about 80 degrees this afternoon. Kind of different to see the Raiders being pampered in such a way.
Boy, I can't see Ted Hendricks going for that. Here's the pass. No flag. Incomplete. Intended for McCaffrey. It'll be 4th down. Can you see Madden having that on the sideline? Mr. Breeze?
Absolutely not. The interesting thing is that the Giants saw it before the game and they said, hey, it's just like a cold game. If you have a hot bench, the other team, the visiting team, has to have a hot bench too. So the Giants have their own Mr. Breeze on their sideline, but it's not hooked up. I think that's one of the reasons why the Raiders have struggled, and that may be the new mystique of the Raiders, is a cooling device on the sideline.
Landeta's back to punt. Comes the rush up the middle. Landeta gets rid of it. Tim Brown lets it go, and that will be a touchback. Only the 3rd touchback of the season for Sean Landeta. That's a 51-yard punt. Raiders get it back. We're tied at 10.
3rd quarter scores.
Just under 11 minutes remaining in regulation, a 10-10 ball game. It was 10-0 New York at the half. The Raiders came back on a short field goal and a 68-yard pass catch from Tim Brown. They now have the ball. Nick Bell in motion wide to the left. Flags down. Looked like Glover may have started early, number 87. And that'll cost Los Angeles 5.
False start, offense, number 87. Before the snap, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 1st down.
Hard to hide on that end of the line when you're 6'6". And this is really an inexcusable mistake. You're trying to start off, go down the field. You're on the 20-yard line. You're already backed up. Now you get a penalty on 1st down, put you back to the 15-yard line. This is nervous time.
1st and 15, 10:53 remaining. And a short gain out to the 17-yard line by Steve Smith, number 35. Well, 10-10 here. What's happening up at Candlestick? Here's Greg.
All right, Vern, here's what's happening. Steve Young is what's happening. A Ram fumble gave the 49ers possession, and Steve Young took over. A 39-yard touchdown run, numerous missed tackles along the way. Steve Young is carried 3 times for 60 yards, and the Niners lead it 24-17 with about 3.5 to play in the game, Vern.
All right, Greg, he does give them an extra dimension, doesn't he?
Did Bradshaw draw that one up, too?
2nd down. Flag is down. And that pass should have been ruled incomplete, and finally is. There's a flag back at the 32-yard line.
Intended for Andrew Glover. Corey Williams defending.
Defensive holding, and that will give the Raiders a 1st down.
Boy, defenses have really dominated this half. You get the feeling.
Holding defense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Carl Banks.
You get the feeling that both offenses are being a little bit intimidated by the other defenses, not willing to take chances. But in a 10-10 tie with 10 minutes to go, it appears that both teams would be happy just to go down and get in field goal range.
Bob Golick and Winston Moss discussing the finer aspects of Mr. Breeze on the sidelines. And here's the plunge to Nick Bell up the 26-yard line.
We talked a lot about the change in the Raider philosophy as far as, you know, they're known for throwing the ball deep, but with Marinovich, we're seeing it's all intermediate type of passes. Nothing over 21 yards for the Raiders today, but very effective for Marinovich as he's hit 11 out of 18. They're not even trying to throw the ball deep, only 4 attempts over 20 yards.
Second down and 7. Marinovich deep right side for Willie Gault, and it's caught. Mark Collins mistimed his jump for the second time.
Well, if you've got a guy with this type of speed, you've got to throw him the ball deep every now and then, but Mark Collins again is right on the ball. Inches over his hand. There's Gault for the catch and the first down. Mark Collins will never, ever forget this day.
That's a 33-yard pass, and of course, earlier, Tim Brown caught one of 68 yards for the tying touchdown, and Mark Collins on that play went for the interception. Motion again, getting a little sloppy.
False start. Offense, number 77, before the snap, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Reggie McElroy.
You can't exactly say that the Raiders are self-destructing because it's a 10-10 tie, but they're certainly not constructing anything with these type of penalties.
8:28 remaining in the ball game, and the clock started again. Art Shell, Hall of Famer, left tackle, said he didn't think tackles in the league blocked the run as well as they did back in the 70s. Here's Marinovich, drills it, caught at the 36, Glover.
Yeah, Glover caught the ball, and then he caught Greg Jackson. Listen to this one.
Second down at the 36. 10-10 ball game. The clock shows 7:35 and winding down. A second half dominated by the Los Angeles Raiders. 5-man rush. Marinovich dropped. Glover at the 24.
But you're noticing that the Giants aren't getting anywhere near Marinovich in the pocket. The shorter sets, the quicker release time patterns, that's been very effective for the Raiders so far.
Ray Hanley said yesterday that the one defensive adjustment his team had made under their new defensive coordinator Rod Rust at the request of the players was to send more 5- and 6-man pass rushes instead of the 4-man that he and Rust liked.
Taking advantage of the outside linebackers Taylor and Banks and what they do best.
Here's the rush. There's the pass. Incomplete. Fourth down. Intended for Willie Gault.
And that time it was Pepper Johnson from the inside, looping all the way to the outside to put pressure on Marinovich and caused that poor pass.
Well, thus far this season, Jeff Jager has missed from 52, missed from 59, and missed from 53. He will have a chance to break the tie from 54.
And the wind is at his back, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Gossett will hold 54 yards out. Maybe. Got it!
good hold, and a real smooth kick by Jaeger. He knew it as soon as he hit it, that it was on its way through the goalpost.
A career best 54-yard field goal by Jeff Jaeger has given the Raiders a 3-point lead with 7:15 to go. Short kickoff, it will be returned. Joey Smith at the 5. He's got great speed, but he can't break the tackle. He's down at the 25. New York Giants jumped out to a 10-0 edge. They had a 7-0 lead and a 1st and goal from the 1 in the latter 30 seconds of the first half. Phil Simms had to use a timeout. Time ran down, and the Giants ultimately settled for an 18-yard field goal when they probably should have come away with a touchdown.
Well, anytime you're on the 1-yard line, you expect with first down that you can get in for 6. But the loss of the use of the timeout really cost the Giants.
4-man rush. Simms dropped because Ronnie Lott hit him.
It's good pass protection for Simms, but he kind of floats this one into his wide receiver. And now Lott, you can see he sees the ball all the way, and he drills Ingram in the back. But he comes out of the game with an apparent shoulder injury. But he'll be back, I guarantee.
Simms this quarter, 0 of 4. 2nd and 10. Into the flat, had to settle for a safety valve, and Hampton is tackled by Anthony Bell. And Ronnie Lott.
I told you he'd be back, but, you know, that wasn't any big surprise, was it?
Put a little chewing gum on it.
Yeah, I got a little stinger, probably.
A little baling wire.
Nice play by Anthony Bell, as it appears that the entire defense is fired up.
Ronnie Lott says you got to take losing personally. He does.
And he's not used to it and doesn't like it.
3rd and 13. 4-man rush. Simms hit as he lets it go. There's a flag down. And the flag is up at the 40-yard line. Bill thinks it's going to be defensive holding. He's been around a few years.
Yep. And he was right, but he's hurting right now. That shot from behind, when your arm is in motion like that, any number of things can happen. And most of them are all bad.
Holding defense. Number 36, 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, it's Terry McDaniel working against the slot receiver here, Mark Ingram. There's the hold right there. Now, the flag came a little bit later. Watch Simms step up into the pocket. Thinks about running for just a second, and it's Anthony Smith that's going to drill him from behind.
On the holding call, 1st down and 10. Rodney Hampton to the 30-yard line. And the clock is under 6 minutes. Ricky Ellison and Ronnie Lott make the tackle.
But, you know, every time you see a running back, and Hampton has done this a couple of times, where he's just jitterbugging in the hole looking for some place to go, you see this black and silver bullet coming at you, and it's Ronnie Lott.
Bart Oates will center it. Phil Simms will receive it. Deep. Double coverage. Howard Cross. Out of bounds. No catch.
And the Giants are putting the ball in the air here in almost, it appears, a panic type of situation here. Here's double coverage. Great catch by Cross, but he's going to run out of real estate here. That's a great grab between two Raiders. But there's a lot of time to go in this game. 5:15. Only down by 3 points. But this is an obvious pass situation right now.
3rd and 6. 13-10, Raiders lead. Giants at their own 31.
Two totally different halves for Phil Simms and the Giant offense.
And a problem, I think, with the clock. Here's Gary Lane.
Please reset the game clock to 5:15. Please reset the game clock to 5:15.
Now the old Raider mystique is back, isn't it? They're working the clock now.
Watering down the field. Guys with sprinklers out here. They got Mr. Breeze shooting the stuff on the 20-yard line.
And they got Ronnie Lott and Howie Long making plays.
Yep. 3rd and 6. No blitz. Stunts instead. Across the middle, short of the first down. McCaffrey. It'll be 4th down. Well, a heck of a game going on here. How about up at Candlestick? Once again, here's Greg.
Oh, Vern, you knew we weren't finished with this one. Jim Everett to Flipper Anderson from 9 yards out to tie the score at 24, but with 1:20 to play, the 49ers are threatening once again in San Francisco, Vern.
I think Greg drew that one up and not Terry.
Yeah, I think you're right.
13-10. Here's Landetta's punt. Tim Brown. A flag is down at the 28. And Brown is out of bounds at the 17-yard line. There's also a flag back at the 45-yard line. So we've got 2 of them down.
"12 men on the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down."
Oh, boy.
Wow. Unbelievable. And inexcusable.
Well, 3 officials caught it.
Well, we got a shadow right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This guy is on his way out. I bet he's the guilty party right there. Yeah, gotcha, buddy.
And he didn't make it out of bounds in time. Giants get the ball back at the 40. 1st and 10.
And I know you know how to spell crucial. That was a crucial mistake.
K-R-U-S-H-U-L.
You bet.
Simms has a man open, and he takes a shot. It's Ed McCaffrey feeling the tackle of Ronnie Lott.
And Ronnie letting out his frustrations for his team after that unbelievable penalty of 12 men on the field on a punt. After your defense has worked so hard to turn the ball back over to the offense, the special teams comes up and makes a real bonehead play.
It was one of the linebackers who was trying to get off. 1st down and 10. Simms. Hampton on a missed tackle by Winston Moss. A gain of 9.
But things kind of even out in football. We've seen Mark Collins come twice close to intercepting balls or knocking them down. That time it was Winston Moss all over the back of Rodney Hampton, going for the interception and just missing.
3.5 remaining.
You can sure tell that the life and the momentum has switched to the guys in the white shirts from the black shirts.
They had given the ball up on the Landeta punt. 12 men on the field. One of the linebackers trying to get off. Didn't make it. Here's Hampton to the 33-yard line. That should be enough for a 1st and 10.
At the 33. Greg Townsend on the tackle.
But you look for all kinds of indications as to why a team is losing, and there's no better example than that play of the special teams when they're caught with 12 men on the field.
1st and 10, Giants. 13-10, they trail. 9th play of the drive. Blitz threatened by the Raiders. They're coming. Simms back. Dropped. That's the third sack today. Nolan Harrison gets it. And Howie Long was also a part of it.
That was real scary looking there for Sims for a moment. It looked like Harrison had rolled up on his left knee. But Phil is one of the bigger quarterbacks from the waist down. He's got huge legs, something I always envied. This was me. I'd be in the hospital right about now with a scalpel. That's real scary for a quarterback.
That's a loss of 9, Dan, and may have taken them out of Matt Barr field goal range. Sims back on second down, deep right side, incomplete. Sims and Ingram misfired on that one.
Third and 19.
Now that sack was a big, big play for the Raider defense. Not only does it push Barr out of field goal range, it brought up a 2nd and long with the incomplete. Now it's 3rd down and 19 yards to go. There are not a lot of plays in the playbook unless you just throw one straight down the field that are designed to pick up these 19 yards.
2:09 remaining.
Look for some type of crossing pattern from the Giants.
Stunts by the Raiders defensive line. Deep in the middle, double coverage. McCaffrey incomplete. Ronnie Lott was there. And so was Eddie Anderson. And Ricky Ellison might be thinking about an ode to the joy of winning.
So this is real close, but a difficult attempt by McCaffrey as he had to fight through both Lott and Anderson to get a shot at that one.
Well, you can be assured now that the special teams of the Raiders will count the number of players they have on the field.
Yeah, just to be safe, they might just go out there with 10 guys.
Right.
No penalty for having less than 11.
Landeta will punt. 2:02 remaining in the ball game. Nice play. Renee Thompson, who has earned a spot among the best special teams players ever in the NFL, and he tapped it out of bounds at the 3.
This is just an outstanding play. Eyeing the ball, getting the nice big hop, and then swatting it out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
There's a view from overhead. The Bud 1 airship stationed just east of LA in Pomona, California, and piloted by Peter Buckley, Maurice Mileman, and Mike Hance. The cameraman is Keith Doyle. And looking down at the crowd that has been announced at 43,000, which is roughly half the capacity of the Coliseum. Been a lot of handshaking going on. Everybody got to know one another pretty well. We've got 1:54 remaining. The Raiders trying to get their first win of the season. And here is Steve Smith with a 2-yard gain, and the Giants use a timeout. Greg Jackson calls time.
That's the first of their 3 in the second half. And how ironic that they're going to have to rely on those timeouts here at the end of the game when they had trouble with that clock management at the end of the first half that might ultimately cost them this game.
.148 remaining in the ball game, and the Raiders use the timeout call by the Giants to go over and talk it over.
Raiders need 1 first down, and they've got their first win of the year. It's not going to be easy because they're going to be very reluctant to put the ball in the air and have their quarterback drop back into the end zone. Ball on the 6-yard line, such as it is.
Dave Meggett and the Giants lost their first 2. Came back with a win on Monday night a week ago in Chicago. And now, having established a 10-0 halftime lead, they've given up 13 unanswered points in this half. It's 2nd down and 8. Handoff for the Raiders. Steve Smith goes left on 2nd down. We welcome those of you who've been watching the 49er Los Angeles Ram ball game. We have 1:42 remaining in this game. The Raiders in quest of win number 1 in 1992. They have scored 13 unanswered points in the second half. The Raiders leading by 3. The Rams fell to the 49ers 27-24 in that game up at Candlestick to maintain leadership in the division. Howie Long had his first sack today, but it's been all Los Angeles here in the second half, Dan.
Yeah, and now the Raiders need just about 4 yards to salt this one away. If they can pick up a first down, the Giants will be unable to stop the clock. 3rd and 3 coming up. But, you know, it's interesting that the 2 plays that the Raiders have used on this drive coming off the 3-yard line have been the old Raiders staple, running left behind the left guard Wisniewski and Wilkerson. Not too many years ago, that left guard was Upshaw, and that left tackle was head coach Art Shell.
Art Shell looking for his and the team's first win of the season, and it would break an 8-game losing streak. Ray Handley trying to get his team to 2-2. It's 3rd and 3 with 1:42 remaining. Marinovich will throw it, and he has a man open. And the Giants will have to use their final timeout. Andrew Glover and Todd Marinovich, best of friends. And an upset, Ray Handley.
Well, nothing to do now but to go in and take a shower, get on the bus, get on a plane, and fly home. This one's over.
Handley's Giants had a 10-0 halftime edge. The Raiders cut it to 10-3, and then the biggest play of the second half. A touchdown pass from Todd Marinovich to Tim Brown, 68 yards. It went as Mark Collins had the interception in his hands, lost control of the ball. Brown got it, broke a couple of tackles. That tied it at 10. And then Jeff Jaker, a career-best 54-yard field goal, has provided the difference of 13-10.
All Marinovich has to do now is secure the snap from center and kneel down. But remember, he did fumble a snap from center earlier in the game, moments after injuring his left hand on the helmet of Steve Wisniewski. So there's no guaranteed thing here, but it looks pretty good for the silver and black.
Giants dominated the first half, led 10-0, had a 1st and goal at the 1 with a minute to go, but had to use their timeouts and settled for an 18-yard field goal when it appeared they would be in for the touchdown. Here's Marinovich falling down. The clock cannot be stopped. Those of you who just joined us, let's look back at the winning touchdown. Marinovich to Tim Brown.
Might have been intercepted right there by Collins, but the ball went right over his fingertips, and Brown takes it down the sideline for a touchdown. Game of inches. Could have been a touchdown for the Giants if Collins intercepted, but Tim Brown made the grab.
Out last week with a hamstring injury, and he caught that pass in the 3rd quarter. That tied it at 10. And then Jeff Jager's 54-yard field goal provided the margin of difference that now sits at 3. And the Raiders call timeout.
Well, you talk about a strange timeout call. Why would you stop the clock in this instance? Let the clock, if you're worried about the clock running down, let it go down and take the 5-yard penalty and line up in the huddle and do it again. But don't stop the clock. Every second counts. If he were to fumble one of these snaps, Giants could have it in field goal range.
Joe Pisarcik somewhere is looking on thinking about that. And so is Herman Edwards, for that matter. And so is Larry Zonka, for that matter.
And so are a few Giant fans.
They remember it well. That was an Eagle victory over the Giants back in the 70s that happened that way. Here's Marinovich with the snap, and he's down. Streak is over. Streak continues. Shell and the Los Angeles Raiders come from behind and defeat Ray Handley and the New York Giants by a count of 13-10. Jager and Barr. So for Dan Fouts, this is Vern Lundquist saying so long from the LA Coliseum. Our final score 13-10, the Raiders. Coming up next is 60 Minutes.